Hello, my name is Ryan, and today I'm going to be showing a video about web hosting and websites. In today's society, pretty much everybody has a website. Why? Because that's just the way things are. You need a website for everything. Whether you have a business, a fan, a blog, or anything, pretty much everybody has a website, whether you build it yourself or use an easy website builder. Now today I'm going to show you about registering a domain and pointing it to a web host. Now you can register a domain at your host if you'd like. The reason why I'm not doing it at my host is because I already have an account and most people have trouble pointing their domain over. Obviously, if you register your domain at your host, it's pretty much all automated. You register it, you set it up, host, you're ready to go. Now, a lot of people have trouble pointing it over. Now, if you're a novice user or a beginner and you don't know how to point it over, it's a good tool to know. Okay, so my registration I'm going to do at Godaddy because that's where I've had my account forever, and I do my web hosting through Dreamhost because their tech support is really good and it's just great interface. It's real simple. I've also used cPanel, Lunar Panel, and a couple other ones, and basically the Dreamhost panel I just think is the easiest. You have all the controls that an advanced user needs, and it's simple enough that a beginner can follow along. Okay, so right now I'm going to be at GoDaddy, and I'm going to go ahead and register a domain. So I'm going to pick a .us because they're fairly cheap, and I live in the US. So let's go to Ryan Show Us. I think that's appropriate for this video. Ryan, show us how to set everything up. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and search for it. Alright, so I already have it. Let's remove it. I already set it up before the video. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add it. So Ryan Show Us is in my cart now. Now these are the other different ones, but I don't need them. So I'm going to go ahead and click to continue. Business domain registration. Any of that stuff? No, it's extra. I don't need it. I'm going to set up all this stuff on the Dreamhost side. So email, I'm definitely not going to do that email because it's $2.59 here, and if you set up hosting at Dreamhost, you get unlimited email accounts. So I'm going to go ahead and continue, skip all that. Okay, so now obviously this is asking about the US eligibility confirmation, personal use. Okay, so that looks all good. Okay, so there's my domain. That's one. Do I want it for 5 years? No, I'm just going to set it for 1 year. Okay, so $3.99. It's cheap, right? Okay, so that's all the information that I need. Yep. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and click checkout. Okay, here's all my information. Got all that blurred out because I don't want you stealing my stuff. Okay, so basically what I'll do is I'll go ahead and place my order for that domain. Okay, so there we go. And it will send the confirmation to my email, and I've purchased that domain. Alright, so here's some other stuff that GoDaddy offers, like email and instant page and basically all that stuff that I don't need. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead to point it over. You're going to need there's two ways you can point a website over. You can use name servers or you can use A records. Now name servers basically point the domain fully wherever you want to point it. So if you're going to do MX, which are email records, you want to go ahead and use name servers. That way you don't have to do custom ones. Now basically the difference between name servers or NS and A records is basically if you want to manage everything at your host, your email, your website, everything you want to control over there, use name servers, which is highly recommended because that's the best course. Now say if I wanted to manage email at GoDaddy, but I wanted to have the website served from Dreamhost, I would use A records, and that's basically you're pointing just the website over there using A or address records. Now I'm going to use name servers because I want to manage everything over there, and the hosting covers the website and the email, all of it on one flat cost. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go over to my account. And this is all my controlling from GoDaddy, okay? So domains is where I want to go ahead and view the websites that I have. Okay, it's going to open it in a new link. Okay, so here at the bottom, Ryan, show us. Here's all the information. Okay, so then I'm just going to go ahead and click on that. And it's going to take me to the control area. Alright, so then at the bottom is the contact information. And here, down at the bottom, you'll see your name servers. Okay, now you can use the set name servers, manage DNS records here. Or up top, you can use icons if you're like me and you like the pretty pictures. So I'm going to click on name servers, and you're going to see set name servers. Okay, alright, I have hosting with these accounts. I have specific name servers for my domains. Okay, so this is where you're going to go ahead and add your name servers. Now, what are the name servers you need? Okay, so Dreamhost has a great wiki page that has pretty much all the information you could know, that you would need to know. Now, obviously, if there's some other stuff, they have great support. They have live chat support, and they have a great support system that you can contact them. So I'm going to go ahead and type name servers. If I can spell right. Okay, so here's the name servers that you need for Dreamhost, okay? And obviously, if you want to read over this, you know that, okay? Now, basically, what I'm going to focus on here is this one, and this one. Okay, now do you say, why don't I need to know about the IPs? You really don't need to know about those if you're using the name servers. So then you can, copy this, or you can, type it. Okay, so now I'm going to go back over here. Going to delete out the GoDaddy ones. Okay, and I'm going to use all three of them, okay? So it's going to be NS1, NS2, and NS3. Okay? Now, it says here take 2 hours to 48 hours for those changes. Now, that is DNS propagation. So let's see if I refresh this, if it will show the new name servers. Okay, so they're not quite updated yet, okay? Alright, so now basically, whenever you make a DNS change, they need propagation time. Propagation time will take anywhere from 24 to 48 hours, and that's just to propagate across the internet. The host or the domain registration have zero effect on this. It's all about propagating across the internet, and that's how long the internet service providers need to update their DNS records. Now, there's plenty of places you can check on DNS records. Like one that I personally use is what'smydns.net. So I'll go ahead and post in my domain, and then I'll go to NS, which is name servers. Okay, now you'll see it has all the GoDaddy ones popping up. Okay, because that's obviously it's populated, because now it's just registered. Now what I'll do is it'll start propagating and change over to the Dreamhost ones. Once that goes over, then it will start being pointed fully over to Dreamhost. Okay, so now that I've got that pointed over, that is all done. Okay, so now I'm going to come over to my Dreamhost panel. Okay, so how do I set it up here, right? Because you can't just point it over anywhere and just have it work, right? It's like calling a number of a business that doesn't exist. You have to have a business for it to call. Okay, so what you'll do is you'll have your toolbox over here, and you'll see manage domains, which I'm already on that page, so I don't need to click it again. Now at the top you'll see add a new domain name. Okay, I'll go ahead and click on that. I'll add my domain up at the top that I want to add, and then do you want the www in your URL? Okay, so basically I always use leave alone, because some people like to use the www, some do not. I personally do not like to use it, but I leave it both that way. Either way works. If you click the add button, if someone goes to your domain without the www, it will automatically redirect them to the www. If you click remove it, if someone types the www, it does the reverse, it removes it. But I'll go ahead and leave alone, okay? So now the next part is the user. Every website in the panel has to have a user. Now I just have one user because that's all I really need. I don't have a ton of domains that I want different users or different FTP, because they're all my sites. Now if you want different websites with different users, you can create a new user. You can also create different FTP users. So say if you host your friend's website and you want them to take care of their own stuff and you don't want to manage it, you can make a new user. Or you could make a sub-user in your account so they don't see your websites as well. But, I could cover that in a different video. Then we go down here to the web options. There's a bunch of different information here. What the heck does all this mean, right? Now, for somebody just hosting a normal website, most of this stuff you can skip by. This is more of advanced stuff. Two things I will go over, though, is basically Cloudflare Services is a service provided that's partnered with Dreamhost to basically ensure your website's up. So say if for some reason the server is down, your website could still be up because Cloudflare. Basically, Cloudflare is a service. They take a cached version of your website. So say if the server is down, your website would still be live on the internet, even though it's not technically a live version. It's, it's like a saved version, so it's a guaranteed way. But you can look up that information at Dreamhost about the Cloudflare. It's really good, and I recommend using it if you're having like a store or something like that. Like, now this is going to be just a how-to website, and if it goes down or anything, it's no big deal. But Dreamhost is really good. They got a 99.99% uptime. Okay, and then here's the Google services. Say if you use Google Apps, like you have a business or something like that, you can go ahead and enable this, and Dreamhost will set up all the DNS records for you. It's very seamless. It's great. You just got to make sure you're enabled on the Google side. Now, their service is no longer free. If you had it before they started charging for it, great. Click it on. It will add the records for you. Okay, then analytics. Now, this other stuff down here, you'll see redirect, mirrored, parked, cloak. These are all, and DNS. Okay, now these are all different settings, but I'm not going to use any of those because I want to set the website up for hosting. So if you see this link right here, it says fully hosted. So say if you set all this up and then you click this right here, bam, everything you just did doesn't do anything. All these other ones. You want to go ahead and click the fully host this domain right here. Ryan, show us. This is the website. Okay, here's all the different information, all these settings. Okay, you'll see a little clock right next to it. If you scroll over, it says change pending. That means I just set it up. Now, obviously, if you set up email accounts, users, FTP, any of that information in the Dreamhost panel, it will go ahead and set up a little clock next to it. That little clock means there's changes pending. Basically, if you make a FTP user or if you change a password, basically it will take 15 to 20 minutes for those to take effect. So obviously you can check on a little clock and know why. Okay, one other important thing that you'll need to know as a beginner is your DNS link here. So say if you point your website over using an A record, you just go ahead and click on this little DNS link right there. Okay, now you'll see all the information you need here. You'll see like the IP for an A record, the www, FTP, all this information if you're going to go ahead and point over A records. If you set up email as well, you'll see MX records and all that information you need right here. So basically, now the domain is pointed over here and you have your records. So if I want to go ahead and check back, I can go back to my propagation check and I'll check the name servers again. Okay. So most of them are Godaddy, but you can see a couple of them are going to Dreamhost now. Now, obviously, this one you can see the different, IP or the different locations that are propagated. It just depends on how they update it. Now, if I go here and go to A record, that will check the ones. Now, obviously, most of them will probably not be propagated because the Dreamhost one. Now, this one was going to Dreamhost, so let's see if that's one. Okay, so there we go. There's the IP of it. And it matches there. Okay, so that one's already for Pasadena, California. That's already propagated. So now, if I go to the website, most likely you won't see it because, oh, there we go. So it's already propagated. So this is the Dreamhost default landing page. So Ryan, show us is coming soon. I'll probably go ahead and turn this into a web page that if you need help or anything like that, I'll probably start posting a couple of these videos there. But yeah, so that's all. That's pretty much how you set up the web hosting. So now I purchased a domain, point over, it's already alive. Now if it didn't show, that's because it's propagation, which you can go ahead and use a proxy for. So if I go to Boom Proxy, which is a proxy I use, it's like viewing the website live for the first time. Okay, so I'll go ahead and put it in. It's already going to show. So say if you're in a location that hasn't propagated yet, most likely you're not going to see it. But you can use a proxy to view it at a time. Now sometimes it may not show because it's brand new. But a proxy is like viewing the website for the very first time, taking a different route. So say if you viewed a website, your computer might take the best route. When it connects to the internet, they're called hops. It might be the best route, but you might not view it because it's not propagated. Now, if you use a proxy, it may not be the best route, but it might take a little bit longer, but you're viewing the site if you're viewing it for the first time, like you've never seen it before. So if you're making checks, this is definitely a way to go. Now, don't use logins or anything through a proxy because it's viewing it through someone else's resource and you don't want to lose any of your information. Okay, so I covered basically how to register a domain and how to point it over if you're not going to register through it. Now, if you go to Dreamhost, okay, so if I go to dreamhost.com, here's their information on their web hosting, but if you want to register your domains, here's their domains. You can put the information in and check for the registration. Now, if I go back to the panel, if you want to go ahead and register your domain through Dreamhost, you can do that as well. Now, let's go ahead and pick this up. Now, basically, this is what you'll see. Okay, so if you go over here to domains, you click the arrow, drop it down. Right here, registrations. That's where you go ahead and click your registrations. Now, if you go ahead and click on that, you'll get a bar that pops up and you just simply register your domains. Now, I don't need to go ahead and click on that and walk you through that because it's the exact same thing I did at Godaddy. You just click on that, and now if you register that through Dreamhost, the registration will be here. Like if you go right here and you see this, this means it's registered at Dreamhost. Now, this is why I recommend registering it through Dreamhost, because under the registration, you see exactly when it's expired. This one, I only got 3 months left before I have to renew it again. Now, you can also set up automatic renewal on some domains through their panel. Now, I highly recommend doing everything through Dreamhost because, you know, you have less places to go, less headaches to do, and, you know, it's just beneficial. You manage everything in one location. So, my domain right here tells me exactly how much I left, and if I want to go and renew it, I just go back to the registrations and just renew it there. Okay, so I think I covered everything for you registering your domain and pointing it over. I'll go ahead and do some more advanced stuff from their control panel, you know, show you how to make cloaks and mirrors and redirects, all that, but this is basically just, you know, registering a domain and pointing over. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below or message me and I'll go ahead and be happy to help you out with those. This is Ryan, and thanks for watching my video.